And I am live. Hello. I'm also being very pestered by a cat. Can you just stop, please? It's been a rough day. Oh, it's been a rough day and a rough night. Let me fix this. That's better. Oh, I forgot my ice pack. Hey, cat, run to the freezer. Fetch me an ice pack. No, she just go stare at me. Oh my goodness. I'm sore. I finally found the muscle relaxers. I could not find them. We did new exercises on Wednesday where you do different things so that you're stretching your spine, but you're not stretching the top part of your spine. Where the vertebrae are pinching the nerve is below the small of my back. So it's that part leading into your tailbone, which is only about that long, but like right here. And the small of your back is right here. And so I'm real sore. And I couldn't find my muscle relaxers until, about an hour ago, hour and a half. So I'm still sore. Yeah. But I mean, the leg's doing better. And the pinched nerve it seems to be working because the pinched nerve doesn't seem to be bothering that as much. Will you not? She's behind me, claw on a box. No. I don't know what's her problem. I think she's still mad at me for having been gone for a week. So, but yeah, I was lucky during summer camp. It didn't, come on, chair with wheels, actually move. It didn't act up too much. So let's actually tilt that a little bit. Hello. The kid came home. Melanie, how are you doing? I know the fires are still going up there. And I've been thinking about you too. No phone. I don't. So my son, this phone, the screen is all completely cracked up. It has a protector over it so it doesn't lose any more glass. So then he upgraded me to one of his old phones. Do you think I could work this thing? Hell no. Hell no. It beeps, it bothers, it does all weird stuff, and I have no idea what it's doing. Every time I get a text message, it tells me I have a missed call and there's voicemail. I don't know. I am technology challenged. This thing's driving me crazy. So Sher Finds, Sherry may be a little late because she's still in a sale that hasn't ended yet. So she'll be coming over. And when she's done there. So I should see her. I sent her the link in an email, so I should see her pop up in the feed. Why do I have 7 text messages? Like I care about Uber. I'm not on. I don't even have the Uber app. Why am I getting a text message from Uber? I don't know. Like I said, it's weird. So I survived summer camp. The hip went out twice, only twice. Once because the bed tried to throw me out of it. That was not pleasant. So I went and we had an air mattress. This air mattress seemed to be narrower than the one I had used 2 years ago. And so it didn't want to stay put on the one cot. So it tried to throw me out of bed because you sit up and it, of course, slides back and then it starts doing this because those old army cots slope like this. And that's what we're sleeping on, old army cots. So that was a problem because as it's tilting, it's sliding me to the floor before I can get both feet underneath me, and I can't get my right foot swung around. So I'm trying not to kill my left leg, but my left leg is also trying to get the weight, and it's twisting me weird. So the very first morning, it kind of popped it out of place. and then pretty badly too. So I have my son, and I'm like, well, we're waiting for the kids to leave camp because I don't want them to hear me scream when he helps pop it back in. So you guys would have laughed at seeing the shenanigans we had to do for him to get me to where we could put it back in place. So the only flat spot is the picnic table. Now these things have attached benches. Well, attached benches are higher than a step. So I couldn't climb up onto it. So we had to move the picnic table about 3 feet to get next to a rock that was sticking out of the ground about this much. So I could step onto the rock, step onto the picnic table bench, and then sit down and lay down on the picnic table. All this fuss just because the hip wouldn't behave because my bed tried to throw me on the floor. So we even have a stick for me to bite on, and I'm biting on it. And apparently there still were 2 teenagers around, and they heard it, and it kind of went through like wildfire that, you know, Miss Krause is really hurt. But, you know, they took good care of me, and and Mike was there, and he took good care of me. And my problem with the Army cot, the crazy card, is that I am only 5'3", and most of my height is torso. So when I sit on an Army cot, you know how it always like sinks down a little bit? That means my feet don't touch the ground. And I have a hell of a time getting back out of them because my feet don't touch the ground. So with it works better having the air mattress on it, because then it's a good height and I can actually touch the ground usually, but I have to be careful, make sure it's going to stay in place. So the next night we tied it. They took some rope and they tied it in place. Well, that didn't work too well. So then they decided they were going to duct tape that sucker onto that cot. That worked. So for the rest of the week, my air mattress was duct taped to the cot. No more problems. The only problem came, as far as the hip was concerned, Friday. I knew it was a little bit out Thursday. The campsite was rock city. There were rocks everywhere, and I don't mean loose ones. There is a scout summer camp, scout reservation called Akanikin, which they all jokingly call it Rockanikin. But at Akanikin, the rocks everywhere are like, you know, maybe this big, okay? But there's a lot of them. Our service project one year was raking all the rocks in our own campsite. And we had the biggest site, and we had the handicap site. Rocks everywhere. So that year, our service project, we raked up as much of the rocks as we could, and we still only got half the campsite done. But that's what, you know, I'm used to that when having rocks. Resica Falls, I'm not used to that. And the site we had, you couldn't rake them up because they were all embedded in the ground. So I did trip on Thursday night, you know, after dinner when it was getting dark. And we were having our campfire that night. We had invited another troop that's an all-girls troop that actually is right in the same school district from my troop. We had invited them, and then we had half the kids from the troop that was next to us because they'd been feeding us. Because the food at camp was a whole other problem. They would bring over the extra bag lunches. So we had a huge, huge campfire because we had all our kids except for, no, we had all of them because the 2 that were doing their ordeal had already done it. They just couldn't talk until they had the ceremony. So by the time they came back, they were there. So we had all our kids, and then this other troop that had, I think they had 14 with them, and then that was the girls' troop, and then the other troop, half their kids were on the wilderness survival overnighter. So we only got half of them, so I think we had 8 from that troop. So it was a lot of kids, but they had a blast. They had a blast. And the next morning, while we're at breakfast, we're up at the dining hall, and I know my hip's out, and it needs to be adjusted before we have to start packing everything up because we were short a day so that they could do COVID protocols and clean and sterilize the camp and the tents and the cots and the latrines. So they have this great huge arrow which creates a clock in the end of it, and it's for the Order of the Arrow, which is an honor society within Boy Scouts. But around it are all these stone benches. So Mike says, you could get onto this. We should just do this here. Now, granted, at the dining hall, you're in the middle of camp where there are, breakfast has just ended. There's still about 100 kids floating around. So I don't care at this point. Just fix me. We got too much to do today. He lays me down on this stone, and don't some kid from Lord knows where walks by and goes, "Oh, sacrifice?" I was like, yeah, well, will it bring us better food? Then maybe. It was just kind of bizarre. But, once he got that one in, we were good. And then, I've been fine since we came back until physical therapy on Wednesday when we started all these new exercises. We also started me on weights around my one ankle to get the left side stronger. But camp was great. The bear was not in our campsite, so that was great. I was happy because, our kids know how to take the trash out at night before they go to bed. You don't leave food in the campsite overnight. You don't leave food in the trash cans in the campsite. There was a bear in the site that was down the hill from us in broad daylight, raiding their trash. But looking at the picture that one of our adults got, it is probably a yearling. So Pennsylvania black bears, they're in more than Pennsylvania, but they will stay with the mother for two summers. So they start, that second summer, they're a year old, and they do finally start getting a little braver and extending out and being away from the mom for a couple days at a time. Because meanwhile, mom's got a new set of cubs usually. And judging from the size, this one was a yearling. And when you think that these huge scout reservations have had no people in them for a year, in some cases a year and a half, the animals that were born last year have no clue who we are. They have no fear because they haven't learned that we're something to be afraid of. So he just was curious, and he was raiding their trash can, and let the scout camp know, and they got the ranger and camp director went down, chased it away, chased it back across the creek, across Bushkill River, and no harm, no foul, no problem. Gave the kids something to talk about. We haven't told most of the parents. We're gonna save that picture for the slideshow and then put on it that it says "not our campsite," just so they know. But that bear was the big excitement, and it didn't happen until Thursday afternoon. So that was the big excitement of the week, a bear. But like I said, not our campsite, so I'm good. I did realize, though, that the first night in camp, I heard this snuffling, like right at the edge of my tent. And I'm not thinking it's a raccoon, because they're digging in the leaves literally right next to the wall of the tent. And I'm not thinking, and I'm tired, and it's the middle of the night, and it woke me up, and I assumed raccoon. So I went, "Shut up, go away." And I smacked the side of the tent. Then I find out about the bear at the end of the week, and I go, I should have known, because raccoons make chittering noises. They don't make that noisy snuffling, sniffing noise. That was probably the bear outside my tent that night. Oops. Oops. What am I going to do? Beat it over the head with my cane? I don't think so. So it was a non-eventful summer camp, which is what you want. You want the kids to have fun. You want them to earn merit badges, you know, test themselves maybe on new things, and but you don't want any major problems, and we didn't have any, which is good. The only thing they were fed up with was the food. Whether food is good or bad, in our case, it was not great, but it was good, and it just wasn't enough of it. And the poor kids that had food allergies, instead of doubling up on a vegetable, something they could eat, they would just take away what they couldn't eat. So, you know, so they had even less food than everybody else. So it was interesting. It was interesting. So I have, as usual, an odd mix of stuff tonight because I wasn't able to like really sort out and find stuff. That's why I can't wait for that office. Oh, he's back upstairs now already. Okay. I can hear footsteps above me. So that's my son. But coming back and getting all the paperwork done, and then we were at the QM today. That's where I filmed the little thing. And I was so still running on scout brain and all the stuff you have to do when you come back. So I did pull some stuff, but it really is an odd mix. And I'm looking for an email from Sher Finds. I sent Sherry the link, but she's still in her sale. That's okay, because we can start some stuff here. Has anybody else got any news? Because I'm seeing the chat. I don't know how bad the lag is yet, because with doing StreamYard with a guest, I have to film off my laptop. I guess I'm using this pen because I don't see the pen I like. All right. Iris, I think I was going to email you. Ow. Ow. Oh, all it takes is just stretching the wrong way, and then I'm like, ow. Yeah, Iris, I was going to email you. Is it okay to like send you your invoice now? Because I know you had asked for me to wait until after you've got the the family vacation, to wait until August. So just let me know and I can then get that out. Julie! Yeah, she knew that I was gonna have to like fill everybody in about summer camp. And she is just cranking out sales today. She really is. So she's ow. Oh, Iris, I know you might want something else tonight. So if I still owe anybody a box and they have anything tonight, then it all just gets added to that, so it all gets shipped out together to save as much postage as possible. Is anybody a Lord of the Rings fan around here? I found these. Didn't know I had them. Now somebody did open the tops, but I've got glare problems tonight. So it's got Samwise Gamgee, we've got Legolas, and we've got Gandalf. Now they're not all from the same movie. So Gandalf and Sam are from the Two Towers. Oh wait, they are all three from the same movie. I thought one of them was different. So there's three of them from the advertising for the Two Towers. So if anyone is interested in the Lord of the Rings cans, it is $5 for the three of them. I know some people like their collectibles for Lord of the Rings. I didn't know I still had those. So it's $5 for the three of them, and they're number 16. And I didn't put my numbers out. Where's my numbers? Nope, wrong side. You know, this is what happens when you've been hurting for a while, is like your brain like just thinks it's working and then you forget stuff. Well, I am surprised, Iris, that I still have those, because I thought I did squash a lot of them for recycling. So, oh, your daughter is doing her final unisemester on the Silmarillion. Oh, awesome. I know. So, Tolkien's son is still going through all the notes and manuscripts and papers of his father. Christopher Tolkien was supposed to publish another book of his father's that was within Middle Earth. And I don't remember if it was supposed to be out in 2020 or if it's supposed to be out in 2021. But a new Tolkien book was supposed to be coming out. So I have to check into that and see what happens. Okay, so no, let's take that number out of there. Come on out. All right, so 16 is done. I have a cereal bowl. How many of us grew up with that pattern? I know my mother early on had plates. Now this is the cereal bowl. Now when you look at it this way, you don't see and you don't feel it until you get to here. There are two little chips. There's a little one there and a little one there. There's still a lot of glare. So there are those two, but it's Blue Ridge hand-painted underglaze, Southern Potteries Incorporated, made in the USA. Well, Crescent Moon Christopher's gotta be getting older. So yeah, I'll have to check and see if he passed away. Lord, I hope he had enough sense to leave all Dad's paperwork somewhere. No, these old bowls do not put in microwaves. Do not. But it is a nice cereal bowl. If you need a nice trinket dish, or I mean, this is a nice size because. Okay, so you see it in the old magazines all the time, and they'll have this giant bowl on the center of the kitchen table with fruit in it. But if you live alone, you don't need a giant bowl. You need a deep but smaller bowl. Put a couple of apples, some oranges in there, just enough, because if you had a huge bowl, it is a cool shape. That's why I was like, that's a cereal bowl. I did look it up. That's what they considered a cereal bowl. But that neat oval shape, and then how deep it is, because it's 2.5 inches deep, so it is really pretty good for the size. And I don't see any cracks, but there are the two chips. There's another little tiny one there, but when it's up like this, you don't see them at all. So this is $5 for the Southern Potteries Apple Bowl, number 59. $5, number 59 for that. Okay. All right, let's sit you over here. Okay. Now, what do we got? Let's do you. Hey, there's Cher. Give me a second, guys. Let's get stuff set up for her. There she is.
Hello.
All right, so are you getting tired out? You've been just selling for a while now.
Yeah, it's went way longer than I expected. So yeah, I am getting tired, but I'm okay.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I know you were gonna try to get something to eat before you started here too.
Yeah, a couple of crackers with hummus on is about all I've managed so far. Hi, Melanie.
Fair enough. So
did you fill everybody in on your vacation?
I did. I filled in all the ones that were here about Boy Scout summer camp and how the only real problem was the fact that there was a bear in the campsite below us.
Oh,
but
yeah,
it wasn't in ours because my kids know how to take the trash out. We teach our kids, they just don't never leave food in the campsite ever. As soon as you go to bed, take the trash out.
Yeah.
No.
They don't understand that bears can sniff for quite a ways away.
Yeah, and this was in the daylight too, in the afternoon, that it was in the camp below us, but the bear wasn't full grown. So I think it's what the ranger called it, a yearling. And doing mammal studies, Maripage for Boy Scouts, I knew what he meant. But it's one that they don't leave the mother until after their second year.
Yeah.
So
the bear's not too far away then.
Yeah, or they did go looking, and the ranger did come back and tell us adults that he found 2 mother bears with cubs up where the old blueberry farm was. Well, the blueberry farm scout property is way on the other side. It kind of curves around a mountain, and that old blueberry farm is way on the other side away from where the camp is. Wow. But once a bear is a year old, they start extending further and further out, and then they'll be gone from the mom and then come back and gone and further and then come back until finally, usually in the fall, they just disappear on their own. Yeah. So they knew where the mother with the little ones were, but now you've got these basically bear teenagers roaming around. You'd think with all the noise of 500 Boy Scouts in camp would keep it away. But they've had an entire year where nobody was in camp, so they think it's their, we are camping in their house, basically. So. Well,
not to mention, is it dry there that they're actually hungry?
It could be. The other thing, too, is that we were right by Bushkill River. We were up the hill from it, but we were near the Bushkill River, so that's stocked for trout. So you're possibly near where the area where it's decided it's its feeding ground in the creek, in the river. So, but so who's in our chat? Yeah, there we go. I got to turn the volume. Okay, so our lag is about 7 seconds.
Ours was getting really long over there.
Yeah, it seems like the longer you go, the worse it gets. And when you look it up what they tell you is that it's going to be that YouTube will add a 10-second lag. Most of the time it's not 10 seconds, but I swear, the longer you go, the longer you make it.
Yeah.
Because 10 seconds is a fair amount of time.
Yeah, definitely. And at one time in our lives, that didn't seem like very long. Like I remember playing Atari, and I thought, I think that ball was moving really fast. I remember a Pepsi commercial that was probably in the 2000s that they did replicating people in the 70s, 80s playing Atari. And it really did seem like that ball was moving fast. And now you see what they're doing with games and attention.
Oh, I know. I mean, the computation is so fast that it's the equivalent of real time.
Yeah.
So, but now they annoy me because I used to play games with my son. Now, unless you're both have internet access, you can't play divided screen or in the same screen from the same system anymore. They've made it so you have to have two separate accounts, and you do it all online, and that's not as much fun.
Yeah. Or you have to pay for your own copy of the game, and
oh yeah.
And you each have to have your own devices.
Yeah, and that's not happening. That's not happening. So
I went out this last year and I bought myself a Nintendo Switch because
okay.
I like the Nintendo games, but because I was going to be off on sick leave for a while, I thought, well, sometimes I just want to do something totally different.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I use the kids' games. I don't use my own. One game.
Yeah, my own games are all for the Xbox 360, which is buried not buried, but it's at that end of the living room where the old TV is, because you can't hook the 360 up to these new TVs. The flat screen ones, because it's for some reason it doesn't talk to the screen the same way. Which is funny because you're seeing that the old analog TVs, people are actually hunting for them now because they need them for the old game systems.
Yeah, the older ones don't work with the new technology, and then you have stuff that's all digital, and there's the ones that sell the most are the ones that have the built-in VCRs in them now too.
Yeah, I so miss having one of those. I still have stuff. I have videotapes of shows I performed in. I'm going to have to pony up the money to get them someday, get some of them, not all of them, but certain ones I would like to have on DVD.
Yeah.
So, but
one of these days I need to find someone who does the old, will be able to take old negatives that are about, that big or square and put them on pictures, because I have my grandfather's photography.
Oh, wow.
And I can't really, I'm not good at flipping the colors in a negative to figure them out. And I've been trying to get one of those digital negative readers, but none of them seem to do their bigger negatives.
Yeah, a lot of them do the smaller ones. You'd probably have to go online and see if you could find like a specialty store or somewhere that does it.
I think there's one here in Canada, somewhere in the prairies, but I have to find out where they are, and then you have to have the money to do it. So you might as well wait.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure how well. I have some of those bigger negatives in this house too. Yeah. Pictures of my mom, because my mom was born in 1929, so there's pictures of my mom when she was real little.
Yeah.
So, I already showed 2 things. Do you want to do 2?
Sure, I can do what I didn't sell in the other one to start, because I have it all still sitting here. So for anyone who is a November baby or knows a November baby, I have this little lady right here. And when you look at her dress,
she is a pretty little thing. I happened to see that one.
Yeah, it has the real lace along the bottom, and she is she has a marking on the bottom, but couldn't quite make it out. Kelvin or Kelvi or something, and then there's a number on it. So I'm not quite sure what that means, or even that little TRI or whatever it is. It's kind of engraved in the bottom. But she's got no chips. There might be a little bit of lace missing here, but it's hard to tell if it's a piece missing or if it was actually just built that way. And she is Miss November. She's $8, and she's number 57. Okay, so that's the one that I have here. Now this other one that's sitting right here is, I have 2 of them, and they are kind of old new stock. New packaging was that heavy plastic that can cut you if you're not careful. So I took them out of that and put them in Ziploc bags. It'd be better for shipping too. Sorry, the cat's whining in the hall. And it is a little jewelry case and a picture frame. And they've got this flower pattern on it. And then the picture frame holds pictures that are 6 1/4 by 4 3/4 inch, up to that size. And this is done, this jewelry set is done by Design Philip out of England or United Kingdom. So that's the card that's in there, and it's pink on the inside with a mirror. And it's got this, it's like a velour flocking all over it. I mean, most of us are pretty familiar with the texture inside of a jewelry box, but this is really soft too. So for these here, as I said, I have 2 of them, so you can have both of them or one. Just let me know. And it's for the frame and jewelry box. They're $10 each, and it's number 48. So if you want one or both, just let me know. And yeah, that's the 2 items that I have sitting here.
That is really pretty too.
Yeah, it's a gray color too. Some people said they thought it was green, but it has a greenish tone to the gray, but it is gray.
Okay. Now it's still sealed. It does have its frame, it has everything in there. It's a little mini stitchery kit of a cute little flowers and baskets, but it's all crewel work. Just a nice little starter one, which would be nice to have. And it is, where are you? It is number 19, and it's $5. Number 19, $5 for the neat little stitching kit. And as I said, it comes in with everything. It's got all the instructions. It's all still sealed. Apparently, at some point, that says JCP. I'm assuming it was JCPenney. And I see Sonia. Okay. We're going to sit you back there. Now, I've got, come here, you. I found some more Russian lacquerware. They usually come out of Russia or Czechoslovakia, but the nice part is that this has the bowl and a nice big spoon, so it's a neat little set. The only damage I found on this one is that because, you know, Goodwill in their infinite wisdom, at least this time they used masking tape, but it did take some off the bottom, and some was already flaking off the bottom too. But it also took a little off of the side there and tiny little bit there. But still, I mean, usually when you get these, you're getting them for the display of this. And the nice part is the spoon has in the spoon and in the back, and they are really, really nice. They're not very big. I mean, this is only 4 inches across, and not even, it's not quite 1 3/4 inches tall, but it is really, really, really nicely done on the inside. Really pretty. I've not seen any problems with the spoon at all. The color's good, the lacquer's good. So these are an offer up, and we're gonna start them. We're gonna start them at 4, because I know I have a couple of people that really, really like these. So let me put that in the chat. There we go. So it's $4 to start it. How long is the spoon? And we'll see if all the people, because I know I've got 4 different people who really like these things. So the spoon is 8 inches long and 2.5 wide. I'm surprised it doesn't have a hole in the end for you to hang it, but they are really, really pretty. Oops. Do we have any offers there? It's summer. Everybody spent their money on vacation. But it is a great little set. And I'm not really seeing any interest. So, oh, there's Melanie. So we have 1 for Melanie. And Josie. So we're still at 4. We're still at $4 for Melanie. It is a pretty set. There's got to be a way to have a little holder thing so that can sit up like that. Wouldn't that be great to show that instead of have it sit this way to put it on? Like the teacups and saucers, you always have the holder to put the saucer up. That would be cool to have something like that. So not seeing any other. So we're going to have going once. And I'm going to type it in just because that helps go for the leg. She's here. Cher's here. See, Cher's here. She's hiding. And sold to Melanie. All right. Thank you, Melanie. And I'm going to let Cher go. And now I'm going to hide for a minute. You're muted. Cher, you're muted.
Yes, I am. Sorry about that. Okay, let me start again. I have this lovely little 1970s pot holder hanger that could go in the kitchen. It's perfect for fall with the orange and white. It has the pom-poms, and I was saying it's well taken care of because there's no stains or damage that I can see on it. I think it was made out of a yarn. If I'm not mistaken, the yarn, if it is the same yarn, it was made out of Fentex, but I could be wrong because it has a little crispness to it. And the face has got a little dimple mark right there, but that could be just wiped off. And it's ruffled. There's an old button on the back and the 2 pot holders. And this is number 44 and it's $10. So number 44 and it's $10 for this pot holder. Very cute. And then I have hang on, just give me a second. I have a brooch trio. Originally, I thought this was a pineapple, but it was pointed out that this is a rose. The pink on it is actually darker pink than what it's showing there. And it has a, I call it a fish hook clasp. It's the flat one on the back that looks like a little fish hook. And it is like plastic or Bakelite, I'm not sure which. And then there's this 1980s style diamond grayscale one that's got.
Yeah, that's so 80s.
What's that? Yeah, so 80s. And it's got your C clamp back on it right there. But it is an older one. And then there's this silver one, which is a newer one. It's a much newer clasp on the back, but it is full out silver. And
pretty.
The back is very clean. There's no marks of maker marks of any kind on these that I could find. But for the trio of brooches, it is $12 and it's number 60. And just so everybody knows, I'm shipping from Ontario, Canada, but my shipping rates are very comparable to because the company that I use ships through the USPS system out of Niagara Falls, New York. I pay a little bit more than the USPS prices for that privilege, but it's far cheaper than shipping through the Canada Post. So I just thought I'd let that be known. So that's the two items that I have right at the moment.
Debbie, you like the silvery one?
If you want the silver one only, I can certainly separate it. I can make that one there. I can do for $6 if you want it on its own.
Jan, that's exactly what I did. Is I actually accidentally knocked over a thing that was holding jewelry.
Let me know if you want to do that, Deb. Okay, $6. All right, so I'll mark you down for the silver one for $6. And I think I have you from the previous sale, if I'm not mistaken. If not, definitely email me your information, and I'll be doing any billing at the end of the weekend.
Okay. Now I've got, let's do this first. I have an Indian Chiefs book that is got some, I mean, it's got some issues on the spine, top and bottom, but that is a great cover. I had someone ask me, they said, well, what can you do when they've got, pictures like that on them? And before I could say anything, my elderly neighbor, Mr. Hudnell, he says, I took my kids' old pictures books like that. And he says, I have the Indian ones out for Thanksgiving because you always see the pilgrims and nobody ever has any decorations with the Indians on them. And Thanksgiving was supposed to be all about that. I do like the map in the front. The end papers are this great map, and it shows where a lot of some of the tribes were. Because in this area, should have been Lenni Lenape, which, they called them the Delaware Indians. Now, this has an inscription in the top, but it does have these great images that you could do journaling with. Where's another one? But there's stories for how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's 11 different stories of 11 different Indians from different tribes. So the date, okay, so it's a Whitman Publishing book from 1959. And the portraits of Indian chiefs in this book were drawn from existing representations of these men. We gratefully acknowledge, and then it's got a list of the museums that had artwork, including the Smithsonian Museum, for their portraits of Osceola, Black Hawk, Little Turtle, Geronimo, and Sitting Bull. So a lot of these, like this one's Crazy Horse. So a lot of these big profile pictures or these big portraits were taken from existing ones, which is different. I mean, they actually went to the trouble to make sure that they were accurate representations. So isn't that cool? Hey, stop clawing me. The doctor's here. So this is $6 for this book. And you better stop digging on. Hey, what are you doing? Stop it. I'm not a clawing post. Thank you very much. We're having issues with her tonight. Yes, I see you. So the Indian Chief book is $6, number 79. It's $6, number 79 for the... No, I'm not selling the doctor. That's not happening. Meow. Sonia Mills. Do you want to come up? Where are you? Do you want to come say hello? No? Where are you? Don't you start clawing that box behind me. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come say hello to everybody. Come on. There we go. As everything wobbles because she's going to say hello. Yeah? Is that you saying hello to everybody? College Debt Circus, I had cleaned out and there wasn't a pile, but now there's shipping that I'm waiting on. One of them's paid. I got to print a label, and then I'm waiting to hear back from 2 other people. But yeah, I actually had like this nice, the last time I was live before we left for camp, there was this beautiful U shape of empty space. What? You gonna say hello to everybody? You gonna say hello? I'm gonna put you down now. Yeah, princess. And it's not your house, it's my house. I'm the queen of the castle, hon. So, ready? No, I know you don't want to go down, but you're going down. Oh, nope, not hoarder for life. Inherited from hoarders. And then lost my downsized out of a job. So the storage unit had to go somewhere. It's all in here. And we're selling it off. Jose, sometimes she's a talker. Because a lot of times she's been up where you guys have seen her and she's not made a sound. She's been a talker lately. So, where's the game? I have a vintage game up for you. It is Parker game from 1975 in the original box called Blockhead. It's a balancing game. Come on, pop open. And all the parts are in there. And even better, it actually still has the big flat piece. I don't know why. I found this game before, but it's never had that. And I knew I had it somewhere that was ours when we were kids, and I finally found it. So not where I would expect it. Not in the, oh, there's the instructions are inside the lid. It wasn't in the boxes of toys. No. No, for some reason it was in a box of books. I have no idea. Now there is a little damage to the corner here where there's a rip to the top layer of paper, but that's it. So, and I was surprised at how much these are on eBay, but for you guys, it's gonna be less than that. So the Blockhead game is going to be, it's going to be $9, number 85. $9, number 85. It's all complete. It's in the original box from the 70s. That's still less than what you've got. So, and I see Nettie. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. And that's my 2, and I lost the mouse. Uh-oh, there it is. I knew I had it somewhere. I moved it to get it away from the cat. Oh yeah, honey. Kimmy, I am so not keeping all this stuff. You know what, Kimmy? This stuff has paid the taxes on this house for the last 4 years. You inherit stuff from that many people that were 3 people that were hoarders. You do what you can with it. And now I need to sell this stuff because I'm out on medical leave from work. So everybody's different. So we just do what we can do. All right, we've got Cher coming back. Sherry, I'm still new at StreamYard having a guest. There we go. There we go. Uh-oh. Jan made a comment back that I'm hilarious on 2x. I probably sound like a chipmunk on 2 times the speed. All right, Sherry, you all set?
Yeah, I was muted again. Surprise.
That's why I was waiting for you to talk before I disappeared, to make sure you weren't muted again.
Yeah. So I have, this here is glass slipper. Well, it's not glass, it's actually acrylic. It's a Christmas tree decoration. And it was, what it is I'm a Mary Kay consultant in Canada, and this was our fundraising ornament for last year or the year before. And so it was to raise money for the Mary Kay Ash Foundation, which all money raised for the Mary Kay Ash Foundation goes to help women who are going through cancer treatments. And it also is to help women and children in domestic abuse situations. So this here ornament, I'm passing on for $10, and it's number 62. And like I said, that's what all the money raised in the foundation is for. And it's silver with white bow, and it's got the gem right there in the front of the shoe. Very high heel. I don't think I could ever wear heels that tall. Thank you, Maury. I appreciate it. I got you down for that. Just send me your information and in the email. My email's on the screen there, and then I'll be able to invoice you. I'll be doing any invoicing at the end of the weekend. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, and then the next item that I have is a silver edged decorative edge bowl. It is definitely vintage. It has the silver decoration all around the outside. It's embossed on the inside of the glass. The outside is smooth, so the silver is inlaid on the inside. And it has a starburst pattern on the bottom. The bowl itself it's good for a dresser tray, like a ring dish or trinket dish. It's just about 5 inches, or just a little smidge over 5 inches in diameter. And this dish is $6, and it's number 64. The silver needs to be shined up, but it is definitely silver inlaid around the top of the bowl. And there's no chips or damage that I can see. This spot right here is open, but this one over here is dark, and I don't know if there was maybe something there at one time that's not there anymore, or if it shines up into something when it's polished. But as I mentioned, this is $6, and it's number 64 for this delicate silver inlaid dish. And that's my 2 items, Nancy.
Nancy just had something pop apart in her hand.
Well, that's not good.
No. Well, I mean, old rubber can get fragile. So
yeah.
I had one of these, and it's got fairly large print of you could put the date, but it's also got the year. And I was trying to look and see what years it has. And what happened is the piece separated on the one that has the years. I don't know. I mean, you could put tape there, but I mean, you can't, when you get these things, you really can't use them because the rubber's so frail usually, but they are pretty cool looking to have just for that kind of like in an office to have as a decor piece. I was going to make an offer up. It's not happening now. So tell you what, for the rubber stamp thing, what is this? It's a dater. It's called Just Right. It actually has a brand name on the handle. It's Just Right. So wait, that's not the right numbers. Let me write it down. So it's like a rubber office date stamp, but it also has spots that say paid, AM, PM, all kinds of stuff. So this is just $4. $4, number 44 for that. If anybody would like to have it just solely as a decor thing. So that's one. I mean, it's really definitely just a display piece now. That's the hard part when you find cool rubber stamps and they get brittle. I know, I think in the old army trunk in the one room should still be some that were the old Hanna-Barbera cartoon figures that a friend, an old pen pal, sent me years ago. And it has Top Cat and a couple others, but yeah, it doesn't look like that really had all of it used. Most of it looks really clean. So I have some jewelry tonight. This is a pretty little thing, and the seashell with the starfish at the bottom, this little guy is glass. It's a pretty little thing. It has some gold and some blue in the glass, and it's just your typical lobster claw clasp. Try saying that 3 times over. And so it's an 18-inch necklace. It's a really pretty little piece. And the starfish is glass. I'm not sure about the long beads. The blue beads here also are cold to the touch, so I think they are glass. But these little pale pink ones and the bugle beads, which are the long ones, I think they might be plastic. But it's $4 for the 18-inch starfish necklace. And that is number 73. $4, number 73 for the starfish necklace with the glass starfish. Thank you, Iris. And that was my 2. There we go. Unmute. Unmute. You there?
I am there, thank you. So what I have here is a hand-painted creamer on red clay. He's a little, I guess, sailor. It's definitely hand-painted, and the clay it's red. It's glazed on the, it's hard to tell, it's dark in there, but it is glazed on the inside, so it's safe for liquid. And this little guy is 3 1/4 inches tall, and the widest part of him, from handle to the front of his belly, is about 2 1/4 inches, and he's good for probably 1 serving of cream. Well, depends on how much cream you have in your coffee, really, or your tea. And he is hand-painted creamers number 8, and it's $6. So he's like, take me home. So that's the first item I have. Now the second one here is absolutely gorgeous. I may just end up keeping it for myself if it doesn't sell. It is a glass flower frog in its own stand. So it's new, never been used. The box was damaged, so the box didn't survive, but it's by Creative Co-op. It's made in China, unfortunately, but it has a barcode, so it is newer. But it has wooden handles on the metal frame, and then the lid is a flower frog, and it's metal. So it has the decorative pattern on the front with the crisscross. And this flower frog is about 5 3/4 inches tall, or 5.5 inches tall. And I could try and count all these holes, but I'd probably lose count. There's quite a few. So you could put quite a few stems in there, or some people would use it for hat pins or a number of other things. So it's made to look vintage, but I don't believe it's that old. But it is number 63, and it's $10 for the flower frog. And that's my 2 items.
Sherry, there was someone who asked, Maury Jewelry wanted to know if we ladies have any fairy lamps. I do not.
No, I had one, but I sold it in the last sale.
Okay.
So I don't have any.
The Sonia Mills for 63.
Okay, thank you, Sonia. If you haven't sent me your information yet, definitely do that. My email is right there on the screen.
Keyboard there. All right. We're gonna flip me around. I found these. I thought these were kind of cool. If I can get, so I opened one up. They have bags that reseal. It's a paint by number kit, but holy smokes, look at all those different colors. That's a ton of different colors. And to make it even more fun, there's little, if I can get it out of here. Come here, you. Are you attached? Oh, you're attached to the paint. All right. So there's little metal bits inside, which are to hang it, I guess. But there's a weird issue about that. What I do like is all these different, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different heads, including they just get finer and finer. There's 6 different paintbrushes in here. The reason why, you'll see in a second. So this is the picture that it's supposed to make. The lovely canal. You can see over here. Here is the gondola, you know, and it's getting to be evening. So that's the picture it makes. And here is, I mean, the instructions are on the paper, and the paper even copies all the numbers. But it's all on canvas, but the canvas is flat. So when you're done painting it, you'd have to get somebody to mount it. But let me show you. They've printed all this, and you can see there's all these little tiny, no wonder they've got so many tiny brushes in there. So you're gonna need a steady hand doing these. And let me find out carefully about the paint. Because I just realized I didn't double check the paint. I'm half afraid to, I don't want to spill any. Yeah, that really does look like it's be a hard one. Paint's definitely good. Bugger. There we go. Yep, paint is definitely good. Paints are definitely good. And there are, let's see, what's the highest number of paint? There are 20 paint pots. 23 little paint pots. So this is not for the faint-hearted. And honestly, if I were going to do this, I would get it mounted first. And I mean, mounting, you just really need the wood frame around it. And there's plenty of room. There's enough of a border to get it mounted. And I mean, the only writing on it is this, which is all in Chinese. So I would definitely have somebody like put it on a wood frame first. Have the thing mounted first and then paint it. Now I have 2 of these, and I'm gonna put that there. And what did I do with? Dang it! I had the thing that told me their name, and now I've lost the slip that I wrote it on. Brain damage day, I'm telling you, just one of those days. And I thought I had it right in front of me, and I'll bet I left it in the other room. Because they're by a company called Gomore, because I actually found them online. And that's what they do, is they're not super expensive because they sell them not being on the board or not being on the stretchers for canvas. All right. So there's the, I'm assuming it's Chinese because it doesn't look like Japanese to me. I think those are all kanji for Chinese. Okay. So these are definitely going to be like half the price of other kits. So these are $9 for the whole kit. It all comes in, and like I said, I have 2 of them, so I could take the first 2, and it's $9. I believe they're from 2020, from what I could find out of that pattern. So yeah, I mean, $9 is a steal for these. But they are $9, number 80. And as I said, I have 2, so I can sell them for 2 people. $9, number 80. That is such a cool image too, but you need a steadier hand than I've got these days. Whoopsie, there goes a cup. I'm looking for the little picture. So there's our little picture. Yeah. $9, number 2. So we have that. And no one's interested in those. So let's do the bracelets. There's kind of a theme with the jewelry I found. Because let's do some nature stuff. I was just at camp, so now I did not see a maker's mark on these. They are silver metallic beads and then silver charms, which both are seashell and a starfish with a little stone in it. Oh, look, it's another one. I buy more because, not everything I could sell could be sold on here. This is more vintage stuff. So, I'm sure it's the same one. I'm sure of it. And I don't really care because I don't know who they are. So why should their opinion matter to me? But these are nice little stretch bracelets. You get the pair. And it's $4 for the pair. And they are number 47. $4 for the stretch bracelet, silver tone beads, and Silver Charm of the Seashells. I'm not finding anything that tells me they're sterling. I don't think they are. If they are real silver, I think it's just a thin plating over the top. I don't think in any way those are solid silver charms. So it's $4 for them, number 47 for the pair. Okay, and let's get Cher back here. There we go.
I had to shift because my cat wanted up here.
Oh yeah, I just had that same problem. Yeah.
Well, it's that time of night where you should be laying horizontal, you know.
Yeah, mine thinks that too. I confused her by having to lay down this afternoon.
Yeah. I don't know how many people like roosters. This one's a little different. I have had colorful ones that people really enjoy, but this one is green. He's not jade or any sort of stone. It's like a plastic, but doesn't feel like plastic. I don't know what it's made out of. And it looks like it's been carved. I'm trying to get it to focus. There we go. But it's very intricately done. Like it's got a lot of detail on it. I guess it's not a chicken, but a rooster, right? Based on the stance that how he's standing. And there's no damage on it anywhere that I can see. He stands about 3.5 inches tall, and he's almost 3 inches long. Yes, I see you're there. And he is $6, number 61 for anyone who collects roosters. Like I said, it's very detailed. I don't know if it was hand carved. I kind of think it might have been based on the base of it. But like I said, it feels kind of like plastic, but not plastic at the same time. If that makes any sense. Thank you, Sonia. Okay, I have you for number 61. So from there, we go into a much more beautiful species, which is obviously male when it comes to the bird population. And that is this duck. And it is it's hand carved. Its sticker on the bottom might have been from, I got it in an auction, so I don't know if it was a remnants of the original sticker from the maker or not. And it has a very gorgeous fan tail on the back. It does have a little bit of damage, so if you look on the side of this foot here, it's scraped a little bit there. The back of this, let me see if I can get it at the right angle. Right here, it's missing a little bit of the tip of the feather. But if you have the right tone of paint, you can touch it up easy enough, and then it looks like it might have got scuffed on the back of the head because there's red showing through there. But this is fairly long. I would say about 13 inches long because it goes a little bit longer than my ruler. And he's 5 3/4 inches tall. And this guy right here is $15, and he's number 9. And that's for this duck right here. But he is very cute. I love the detail on it. I love the colors in it. My granddaughter keeps wanting to play with him every time she comes into the room where he is. She wants a hold of him. Well, I did write that. I wrote it over too. So it was number 8 for $15, but I'll have to fix the tag. And that's my 2 items.
There we go. Had to unmute there. All right. I know some of you know how to crochet. I'm not one of them. So, oh yeah, 3 of us all at one time answered. I have 2 small lots of items that have crochet designs in them. Now, this batch I think I'll do as an offer up. Me and my keyboard out of the way. Slide that back under here. So we're gonna start these at a steal of a price because we're gonna start them at 4. But I have 3 different pattern books. Now, the coolest one is this Aunt Lydia's Design Studio. And just let me put this in here. There we go. We're going to start that. So Aunt Lydia's Design Studio was put out by American Thread. What I really like is look at the back. Check out that owl. Wouldn't that be awesome to have for around Halloween? One of y'all could be making that and selling that owl to the rest of us. Isn't that great? Work basket magazines. I should have a bunch of them somewhere here. So American Thread is from, come on, do we have a date? Well, it was printed in Stamford, Connecticut. I was hoping there was a date. Star book number 229. I like it shows you how to make different fringes inside the back. But you've got all kinds of cool hats in this one. You've got a duck for Easter. You've got a Pekingese. What is up with those eyes? Somebody make one the color of Tippy for Christy. Christy Garza's Tippy Winks vintage. Somebody make her a little chow. I do like that little bunny. I certainly like the penguin. But there's the owl. So all the directions for him are in here. It says day or night owl. Now, I don't know. This says hooty hoot. This is the one I wanted y'all to see because I think it's hysterically funny. It's supposed to be another owl. What is that? That's no owl I have ever seen in crafting. That's weird. He's just weird. But they have sandals, they have mittens, they have a tote bag, they have this, which is done with heavy rug yarn for over your bed. Do you see all these long tassels? My cat would be tearing that up as a toy. So, her outfit too. Which one is she? She's there. Who's going to get caught dead wearing an outfit that's only looks like it's half covering you? So you get that one, and then you get the children 2 to 12. Her dress is something else. So out of the 70s from the looks of it, or the 60s. They have all these crocheted outfits. This one cracked me up because you can make socks that match the sweater. So, oh, I can't do it on here, Iris. There you go. So you're getting that one, you're getting this one, and there's another one. There's another children's knit to come with it. And this one even has stuff for the dog. So the dog could match the kids, which was just too funny. Now Now, should you remember the days of having the snowsuits? I can't imagine anybody making this giant onesie for your kid. I just think it's hysterical. It's a giant onesie with matching mittens. But there's a couple of different cardigans. There's a really cute little sailor one. But you get all three of these. And so far, I see it with Iris Collins for $5. I just still think that one's the best one. But you're getting all three of these. And it just seems like these older patterns, you're just not finding the variety of patterns that you do in the older books. The newer books seem to have fewer stitches to teach you, fewer designs. We're at Iris for $8. And now the only flaw I see on any of these, other than a little bit of wear around the edges, is there are some rings on the back from somebody's coffee cup. But so we're going once. And we're going twice. And we'll let the lag catch up while I type this. And sold. Thank you, Iris. Now, the other one I have, I'll just do a straight up because I don't know how many people want to have capes anymore. Now, this one is, it's a nice pattern. It has, it says eyelet spray cape with a hood. You can see it on the back. It does have the hood. But this one, the way the pattern is, it actually has some openings in the pattern design. I don't know if it focuses enough for you to see that. So this, and it's just oh, there we go. There's a closer picture to the pattern. That's what the pattern makes. Rows and rows of that. And these are 1973 for this one. And then the other one, look at that hair. Look at that. I seriously think that's a wig. But this one reminds me of Nanny and the Professor, the way it's made. And this one, though, is a real tight, it's a tighter stitch. This is the stitch. It's a lot tighter. And so this one's going to have some weight to it. This is definitely more likely a winter. I like this one because by having some of this stuff where it is, it's going to lay on the shoulders a different way. And it has enough weight that it's not going to fly up too much, you know, in a stiff breeze. And this one is, this one's also 1973. So the pair of the capes, the pair of the cape patterns are $5. They're $5 and they're number 15 for the two cape patterns. $5, number 15 for these two. And there's Sherry.
Hello. So I have one offer up and one regular. The offer up is these snowmen. They're both Lennox snowmen. One holding the tree, the other one carrying the music books and the bell. Or no, the present and the bell, sorry. They have, one has the actual Lennox logo on the bottom. And the other one just says copyright Lennox. But these two here are are an offer up starting at $8. They are about 3 3/4 inches tall, and they have gold buttons and accents throughout. There's no chips or cracks or crazing anywhere on them. And they have very pale orange noses for the carrots. So these, like I said, these are an offer up starting at $8. And thank you, Sonia. I see Sonia at $8. They have definite texture to them for the snowmen. That you should be able to actually see the texture. There we go. You can see the texture in the snowman part of it as well as on his scarf. And this one here as well. In fact, this one's my favorite. I like him best out of the two. So anyone who is into doing decor with snowmen, these two would fit in perfectly. So I see Sonia for $8. If there's no other interest, I can start counting it down. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and sold to Sonia for $8. Thank you, Sonia. Put these with the other things that you've gotten. No, you're good, Sonia. Nobody outbid you, so you're good for $8. Okay, and then the other item I have are salt and pepper shakers, and they are mice made in Japan, with a number on the bottom that says E-1164. And there are these two little vintage mice that are sitting, I've got to turn it the right way, sitting under mushrooms. Go the right way, sorry. There we go. Their little whiskers almost look like mustaches. And they both have their stoppers in them. And there's no damage to them at all that I can see, except for this here spot right there is actually paint from the mushroom that was done during the production of them. And these are number 3, and they're $12 for the pair. They actually are very cute. So, Miss Mouse is what the sticker on the top says as well. Missy Mouse, sorry. It says Missy Mouse on the top. But other than that, there's no other markings on it at all. But they are definitely older based on the design of them. So that's number 3 for $12 for the salt and pepper shakers. And that's my 2, Nancy.
There we go.
Sorry, I'm usually far more chatty than I am right now.
But you've had a long day. That's okay.
A very long day and lack of sleep thinking about all of this stuff today.
So yeah, I was trying to think of it, but I also couldn't move and I couldn't stand up straight. So it was a challenge today. Oh, Jody's here. Hi, Jody. So just remember, we each have, for those of you who are buying tonight, our emails are under each one of us when we come up, and make sure that you email us the usual stuff, your YouTube name, your address, and I do my invoicing through PayPal. Sherry, do you do the same? Okay, so we both invoice through PayPal, so we need the email for the PayPal. And
yeah, for me, I need the full address as well, because I know some can do it with just a zip code, but for me, I need the full address to get proper postage.
Yeah, because, and you're shipping from, where are you shipping from? You mentioned it earlier, but
I live in the same city as Julie Smurf.
Okay.
I'm in Oshawa, Ontario, which is just outside of Toronto. But here, I don't have to use Canada Post, which can make shipping costly. I actually use a different company that allows me to use USPS. Cost me a little bit more to get it to the border, but then it's handled through U.S. Postal Service.
Okay. Because I know we have some different people here than earlier, so I figured it was about due for us to both like let everybody know where we're shipping from. And all right,
it
so
looks like people from our sale, they must have finally ended because I see some of the same names coming in.
And I think everybody is almost getting to the point where they're getting sale fatigue. Just because there's just so many. But it's summer too, and you learn who has the stuff that you really like. I love watching like Misty's sales and Jeffrey's because I learn so much, but I also know I don't have that kind of stuff. My mother and my aunt didn't collect that kind of stuff. So sometimes I go looking to buy like glass. I rarely have any glass that I don't think I've found much glass here. Most of the glass I've bought to bring here simply because I know that's what a lot of people are looking for. Like the shoe.
I find where they are, it seems like those states that they're in, Indiana, Pennsylvania, those people that I watch from those states, they seem to have the pick of the crop from what they can find where they
some of it because the potteries were all, a lot of the potteries were in the slightly east middle of the country and then in the east. So they have a good time finding all that. And then the earliest glass companies were this direction. So if you're in California, you're not necessarily finding them, but you're more likely finding some of the different California potteries, which you don't see here that often. Like I never see tonala, the Mexican pottery. I never see that here. But everybody that's on the other coast is usually finding that. So I think every area has its kind of niche, but I'm in Lower Delaware County, and it seems to be like thrift store and flea market wasteland because it's so urban. There's very few places that have a big flea market. There's only 2 in the area, and they were both shut down for a long while. And then for thrift shops, it's Goodwill and maybe 2 or 3 others. That's it. So most of it, and anyway, I have a lot, but I do try to find you guys stuff that I know you guys are looking for. Like I try to find old planters, vintage planters and vintage Christmas and as I said, cool looking glassware stuff because I don't have that here. So, and it also gets me out of the house once in a while. So I have, let's see, where's my tape measure? I have this really cool seashell necklace. Wait, there's the camera. So you've got the little, I think these are called cowrie. And then these little teeny snail shell type. And they were dyed yellow. I don't know why. And then I think these little brown ones, I think these are seeds. But overall, it makes such a neat pattern. And they're all hooked together really close to each other and really tight. There's no loose strings anywhere. But they did a really nice job. And the clasp is the old kind where you pinch it down and then makes a little hook. And it hooks right on there. So, I mean, judging from the clasp, this thing is definitely certainly before 1980. But it's only 9 inches that way. So it's 18 inches for this neat looking seashell necklace. And that's a lot of work and a lot of necklace into that. And I can't, I mean, they're so tight together, I can't even see what the thread is to see it. But the seashell necklace is in perfect shape. None of them are broken, no chips anywhere. And it's $8 for the seashell necklace, and it's number 70. $8, number 70 for the seashell necklace. There. And the other thing I have, you want to plan a trip to the thrift stores in Tijuana. Is that a good place to go thrifting? Yeah, that necklace might go good with the yellow outfit, but this neck ain't fitting an 18-inch necklace anymore. Not in a long time. Oh. Yeah, small towns, I think, have more thrift stores per capita than cities, because I see it too often in the cities. It's all about, oh, we'll just throw it away, throw it away, throw it away. And out in the more rural areas, you didn't do that. You use it, and if you can't use it, you donate it, and it keeps the cycle going of the longevity of something. Now, I have this great cup. It's a mug. Impressions by Roy, and I haven't looked it up. So Impressions by Roy Kirkham. It was made in England, fine bone china. It was made in 2003. And it's this beautiful, it looks like a watercolor type image of German bearded iris. But it has a surprise. When you drink out of it, there's this cute little butterfly on the inside. And it's a good size bone china mug too, because it's 4.5 inches tall, and it's just under 4 inches wide at the top. So it's a good size. So the iris mug, it's never been used. There's no signs of any scratches or chips or anything. You know, I know this one, Mom liked it, but she kind of just sat it on a shelf and used it as decor, and I've never saw her drink anything out of it. So it's $6 for the iris mug, bone china from England, and it's number 68. $6, number 68. It's in beautiful condition. And, oops, and that's my 2. And we'll get Sherry here.
So I know that that there's all sorts of different levels of vintage, but this one here is vintage. It's hard to believe it's vintage because it's from 2000. It's made in China. It's a Sandra Cox Treasures trademark, first edition. It's called Look What I Found. And it's this beautiful little, I call her a country girl. She's on grass and she's in front of a little fence. And she's holding a little nest with a robin's egg. It looks like a robin's egg. Put this behind her. It comes up much better. There we go. She's very pretty. Even goes down to the detail of her pantaloons underneath her dress. Her hat has flowers on it. And she's for about 4 3/4 inches tall. And so the country girl is $8, and she's number 12. So $8, number 12. And it's a blue dress with little yellow flowers on it. And a little pink blouse. So she's very cute. She's got little pink bows in her hair too. And then the other item I have, which is totally on a different scale. Comes in its original box. It's silhouette by Alida. I don't know how you pronounce that for sure. But they're original ashtrays. They come 2 in the box, and they have a little fox pattern in the inside. And they looks like transferware based on the glare from them. And there's no chips or damage. The original box is pretty good as well. There's a little damage on the edge here and on the corner over here. But the original price for these when they first came out was $1.50, which is a long time ago. And so for the 2, I call them Foxy ashtrays, it is $10 and it's number 6. So $10, number 6. And I know when I looked them up, they definitely are selling for more than that. But I just want them to go to a good home where somebody wants them. And so that's my 2 items. You're on mute.
My turn to forget. Okay. While she was busy selling, I was busy measuring fabric. Floral with critters. Okay. So anybody that was at the unboxing of the mystery boxes of the house, because I didn't even know what was in these. Wait, where's the cat? Oh, she's over there. So we found fabric. Now this is the back side. Let me open it up. Look how vibrant all this is. And it's 2.5 yards. And it's got a little bit of deliberate puckering because they tried to emboss the fabric so it actually has that look to it. But that is a wild piece. It is thin. It is polyester. And there's 2.5 yards of it, of the floral. And it's not a cotton. It's a polyester of some kind. Very, very 70s. Don't you think? That just screams 70s to me. But it is thin. I mean, you're definitely, where I can see light right there, you're definitely wearing a slip under this or something, or lining it. Yeah, Iris, I haven't gotten to the cotton yet. We found this in the unboxing from right before I left. So it is fabulous fabric. It's 2.5 yards. It is, I didn't measure it, but it looks to be about 44 to 45 inches wide. I spent my entire life measuring fabric, if not for my mom, then for the 6 years I worked at Joann's. But the box of fabric and stuff we found turned out to have been from England, from my aunt. So you have 2.5 yards of this fabulous floral fabric. And this is going to be this great vintage fabric. It's going to be $10, which is, you know, for 70s vintage fabric uncut is a steal, but it's $10, number 22 for the floral one. $10, number 22 for this one. Whoops. Hey, where are you going? Come back here. Where's your seam? It's running away on me now. Okay, so we found this one, and let me write down that Blackie wants this one. Blackie Jr. Now, there's another one. Now, this one is a little bit heavier duty. It is still another polyester. This one has a maker's name that I could find on it that says Jade Classics, Hoffman, California. Now, Hoffman is a company that has made fabric for decades. When I worked at Joann Fabrics in the 90s, they were still making fabric. Hoffman fabrics, especially Hoffman cottons, were a lot of the fancy quilters' cottons. So this one is also 2.5 yards. Now, these paler colors, this is the wrong side of the fabric. This is the back. Wait till you see the inside of this puppy. Again, we're definitely looking at 70s here. But look at the colors. It's so different, I mean, from what the back was. It's so much more vibrant. And let's see if I can find the animals for you. Well, there's one of the animals. So there's this big old bird. And then, where is he? And then there's what I guess is supposed to be a leopard or a jaguar. So amongst the flowers, there's all kinds of creatures. These look like bees, but they crack me up because they look like they're wearing shoes. Aren't they the wildest thing? I mean, I'm not sure what you're gonna do with it. It's 2.5 yards. It's polyester as well. It's a really nice satiny feel polyester. It almost reminds me of taffeta, but it's not heavy enough. It's not heavy enough to be a taffeta. But it is wild, seriously wild fabric. Oh, so 70s. Oh, where's the other bird? There it is. It's underneath. I like this bird because it reminds me of the Asian crane. But it is some seriously funky. That 70s funky town fabric. This is awesome stuff. So this is also just $10, which is a steal. But I love you guys. So $10 for the floral with the critters. It is 2.5 yards long. And like the other one, that's about 44 to 45 inches wide. And it's just $10. It's number 50. $10, number 50 for the other one. For the one that has the creatures with the flowers. So 2.5 yards for that one. And that's my 2. And Jose got in there ahead of you, I believe. Let me double check. Quick refresh here. Come on, computer, stop being so slow. Back into live chat. Yep. Jose snuck in there and has that. All right, so here is Sherry, and I'll get that written down.
Okay, thank you. So I have 2 different vessels, I guess. This one here is a Sadler from England. It looks like a ginger jar, but this particular design, as many as I've seen, have never had a lid. They have little bluebirds on them with kind of a orangey, yellowy orange flower with outlines, and the pattern repeats on the other side. And then it has Sadler of England on the bottom. And it's very clean on the inside. Well, it needs to be washed. I mean, those marks I can get out. They're just dirt from probably water, but they will come out. And this jar has crazing on it, so I don't know if I get it in close enough. You see the crazing on the it's basically like that all the way around, that very minimal crazing. Of course, it gives it character, right? And this Saddler jar, it measures about 4 1/4 inches tall. The opening at the top is 2 3/4 inches wide. And the widest part of the jar itself is about 5 inches. And so for the Saddler jar with the bluebirds on it and the yellow flowers is $13, and it's number 14. So $13, number 14. Okay, and then this one here, it's tarnished, it's silver, sterling silver. It needs to be cleaned. It comes in the original box with the tissue paper, but the box itself does not have a lid. It didn't come with the lid when I got it. And it does have some staining on it from something. It could actually be from the silver, I don't know. Anyway, it is a little, it looks like a wooden, I keep thinking of the buckets that people use to smash down grapes. That's what I keep thinking that it is. And it has nice clean inside. So I understand that this could be used for butter. You could put basically anything cold in there. And the outside is, as I said, it's tarnished. It needs to be cleaned. I leave that up to whoever takes it to their new home. And on the bottom, it has a Gorham Silver Original sticker. And this Gorham Butter Keeper is $14. It is, just to give you an idea of the size, it is 2 1/4 inches. Well, if I go to the top of the handles, it's about 2 3/4 inches tall. And the bottom of it is 3 1/2 inches around. And from handle to handle on the top, it's 4 1/2 inches around. So it kind of goes on an angle. So it is $14. Okay, what number did I say that was? We'll just put a new number on it, number 16, because I can't remember what number it was. And that's my 2 items.
Thank you, Jerry.
Thank you, Nancy.
Okay. Now, I have an offer up, and it's going to start at $6. And I have this lovely red bell. Now, not only does it have the red, which I'm pretty sure is flash, because I can just see a tiny little scratch right in here. But I don't see any other real problems with it. But they also cut in to the glass to do the flowers, to do the grapes. So it is a beautiful, beautiful piece. There's even little etching on the edges of this to give it some definition, but it's so tiny, I don't know that you could see those little lines. It does not have a maker's mark anywhere I could find. And it does have a nice little beaded chain in there. But it is an offer up starting at $6. And the bell is cut to clear. And it is 7 1/2 inches tall. It's really just a lovely little bell. Has a nice ding to it. And, you know, I mean, you could have this, being that it's not particularly Christmas, because you got this beautiful grape leaf and vine and the grapes around it. I mean, this is something you can have as decor all year long, or because it's got the red flash, you could be having it out at Christmas. But it is a neat little piece. It is an offer up starting at $6. So, and I don't think I see any interest for it. So we can pass if we need to. We'll stick that back over there. So it looks like we're going to pass on the bell. And somebody asked if there was more fabric. Not tonight, there's not more fabric. At some point, there's going to be a sale that's just going to have to be all fabric when I can get to the dining room and all the fabric. Okay, I see Jose for $6. And was an offer up, so is there any other interest for the neat bell? Going once. I could spell. I think it's fair to say to go quick. So, Steph, my mother had been a professional seamstress. I took so much stuff to the local county nursing home that they said, we love it, but can you please stop? I filled up every cabinet they had. So, and I have sold to Jose. All right, you have the bell for $6. I'll write that in there. And I have another piece of jewelry. Now this one is longer, but check out these leaves. The leaves are all hand carved. It's very lightweight. It's all wood. These big beads are two kinds of wood because they're in layer patterns. It is nice and lightweight, as I said. And you have these really cool leaves. Now, one of the leaves, I have to find it because you only find it if it's laying a certain way. One of the leaves is missing a little piece, but the way it lays, it's in the back. You never see it. And they know because of the lightweight, I was joking around with my son. The cool part of this is come Halloween, couple of bobby pins, stick it on your head, get some leaves and stuff, stick them to your outfit, and you can go as Mother Nature. So, but it is really cool. It is a long one. It has a standard circle clasp to it. I have no idea how old this is. It is 14 inches long. For all I know, this sucker is from the 70s. Because it just screams that 70s look. And I know my mother never would have worn something like this. And I know my sister would never have worn something like this. So I'm figuring that it was a gift, maybe, or I don't know. Or she was my mother was not above doing this for making costumes. She might have been thinking she was going to take these off and put them on an outfit or something. So, a Pennsylvania Fiona. So, what did I just say the necklace was? I measured it and didn't say, didn't I? I'm getting punchy. So, the necklace part itself is 22 inches long, and those leaves add another 2 inches. But just in time to see Nancy dressed as a hippie. My love beads broke. I had real hippy-dippy 1970s love beads from a friend of mine's mother growing up. And the silk thread finally started to go. So somewhere I actually have real hippie went to Woodstock love beads. But I wasn't old enough because I didn't come along till 1965. So we have this necklace, and the necklace is, what was I doing most of these at? I lost my prices for my necklaces. So it is $7 for the wood one, $7, and it's number, my fingers don't want to work anymore. Come here. Separate. $7, number 23 for the Mother Nature Back to Wood necklace. $7, number 23. And that was 2, wasn't it? Yeah, I think. I don't know. I'm going to let Cher go next anyway, because I'm getting punchy. I don't remember what I'm doing. And Steph Sells, please make sure you email me to that email and with all the information, because I don't think I've sold anything to you before.
She was in our other sale.
Okay, well, welcome to my channel. Now I got to get you bigger.
Okay.
There we go.
All right, so I have this little cat. I don't know. It says HK, and then it has H558B83 on the bottom. Is the maker's mark. And this little guy is absolutely adorable. He's got a little butterfly on his chest, and he's seemingly looking at maybe another butterfly in the air. I have no idea, but he's a little striped cat. And there is, I always want to double check the ears, but there's no damage on him. Usually cats get damaged around their ears. And he is about, let me see how tall he is. His markings are absolutely gorgeous. He's 3.5 inches tall, but he's perfectly striped all the way around. And obviously he was made in a mold. And Butterfly Cat is number 17, and he is $12. I love the glaze on his eyes and his ears. They look so real. I look at things like this and I often wonder what they're looking at. So that's one item that I have. And then this one here is the Comedy and Tragedy brooch. It is gold tone over black, and it has the C-clamp closure on the back with the black. Now the markings on this one here, I cannot make them out. It has a signature on or a maker's name. Let me see if I can get a better view. It's got a number on one side and a name on the other, but I don't have my loop to be able to see. You see the numbers on that side, but on this side, on the inside, there is a maker's name, but I don't know what it is. I have to get a loop and look that up. But this little Comedy and Tragedy theater masks are $10, number 51. So $10, number 51. And Sonia, I do see you for number 17. Thank you. And that's my 2. Thanks for the nod there, Julie. Yes, I did get you to 17, Sonia.
I'm putting something in the chat about what happens when I hit 1,000. When I hit 1,000 subs, there's going to be an all-night slumber party. We can all wear our pajamas, smuggle booze into the house, don't let the parents know. You know.
In my case, it would be don't let the daughter know.
Tell ghost stories, have games, joke around, but it started off as a joke, but it's gathered too much steam to not do it now. So kind of have to do it now. What else do I have? I have a couple of patterns. They're all vintage. And one of them is for a dress and jacket. It's a Vogue pattern. Now it says size 12. And I don't see a date on the outside, but everything that came out of that one box that we opened at the, maybe Iris, we haven't quite decided that yet, but we might. But everything that came out of this one box that was right here that we did the unboxing, we know is everything there is from the 1970s. So all these patterns would have been too. And they all were from the UK. Because one of them actually says, in the UK, price is 35p. So it only been 35 pence, I think. So we have this cool looking outfit that would have been for the well-dressed office worker. I love how they have the scarf. What scarf ever like sticks out like that? They always have some of the most unrealistic. Now it's a simple sheath dress and jacket. You could still have this. You could still use this today, but I would just change the pockets. It wouldn't take much to actually put a pocket. There's seams where you could slide a pocket and hide it in the seam, or just make smaller versions of those and the ones not quite so big. Get rid of the scarf, and you got an outfit you could wear today. Yeah, a very starched scarf. So this is, here's the other fun, is it's never been cut. It's never been cut. It's never been used. It's all still in there. At least I don't think it's ever been used. Let's double check. Yeah, it doesn't look as if any of it, it's still got all the edging pieces. It hasn't been used. So it's got all its instructions and all the pieces in there. So for the vintage Vogue pattern, come on, get your little leafy piece back down here. So for the vintage Vogue pattern, because finding uncut patterns is hard. Now keep in mind, it does say back then a size 12. So you need a 36-inch hip and a 34 bust. So it's $5 for the vintage Vogue. Let me write it down. $5, and it's number 14. $5, number 14 for the 1970s vintage unused Vogue pattern that actually is a cool outfit you could still get away with wearing today. So that was the Vogue. Now, are these the same size? Okay, I'm going to do these two together. They are from England, but they look like they're style patterns. And it's got information on here for London, for Canada, and for South Africa. Okay. But they've never been used. They're all still new. No, actually, there's not a pattern for that wild scarf that stuck out like that. But these are for girls size 8. And you've got these cute little outfits. And I love the fact that her pants just slightly flare. And now flares are back in for clothing for the younger people. So that one makes the pants, the little jacket, or you could do it with a skirt. So you have jacket, trousers, and skirt. And the other one has all these. Do these not look like the girls from the Brady Bunch? I mean, seriously, you have Jen No, you have Marcia or Jen. Who wore the pants first? I think we saw Jen in pants on the Brady Bunch before we ever saw Marcia in pants. So Marcia would be here, and then Cindy would be this outfit, right? I was born in 65. I probably did wear some of these outfits. But they are now, see, you can't call them bell bottoms now. Now all the millennials and younger, they're calling them flares. And I try not to laugh at them because to us, they're bell bottoms. But they call them flares now. What goes around comes around, but sometimes it changes its name. So they're all brand new. And this one, like I said, this one gives you a pinafore dress or a tunic dress and trousers. It's got everything in there. Now it had said for a size 12. Because I know sometimes you have to be sure of the measurements. Yeah, flare isn't as, some bell bottoms were pretty huge. So you get the two of them. So you get both of these for $7. And it's number 83. $7, number 83 for the vintage girls patterns size. Girls size 8. Okay. And that's my two. There she is. I saw what you were doing, so I waited a second.
No. Your nutrition break.
Yep.
Haven't eaten much today. And I was sorting stuff out and putting it aside because I'm using my bed at the moment. Anyway, I have a wristlet. It's by a company called Bosalina. And it has their name on the tag for the zipper, as well as it's embossed in the back. And it's kind of it's leather. It's kind of a peachy pink color with a gold snap. And then it has that mesh background and it's all dark trimmed. It's never been used. And this wristlet, it won't fit. Like, it's good for your cards and cash. But, like, for example, it's not going to fit like a cell phone in here, and unless you have a foldable cell phone. That's about it. And then it has this little tight pocket on the outside that you could slip something into as well. And this wristlet is $10, and it's number 19. So it's $10, number 19 for the wristlet. So it's good if you're just making a quick trip to the store and you don't want to carry your whole purse, because we know what we stuff in purses. We can put a lot of stuff in a purse. But this would make a nice little, kind of like a wallet, but with not with a whole lot of stuff in it. Just the essentials. And then I have this Trillium. It's the Ontario Trillium flower. I'll take that cover off. It's the actual flower for Ontario. It has a gold C closure on the back, and it's metal with the yellow, white, and dark green. And this Trillium is made by, sorry, my brain is not keeping up with my mouth, or the other way around. It's Gift Craft Korea is the sticker on the back. Yep, that works. Not really. Anyway, it's gold foil with red lettering and a red inside of a red present. So this brooch is $10, and it's number 20. So it's $10, And it's number 20 for the trillium brooch. And that's my last 2 items, I think, for tonight.
There we go. Yeah, I'm running out of steam myself tonight because it's been a rough day with my back.
Oh, it's been a long day, and I have just found out my dad made it into Canada from the States. Our borders just opened up this week, and so he lives in Iowa, and they traveled and came into Canada today, and we had to basically wait and make sure they could get across. And they get to the border. They have to have the COVID test. Like, you have to have double vaccinations, but you also have to have your COVID test 72 hours ahead of time. They got to the border and found out that their 72-hour limitation on that vaccination of approval that you don't have the virus was 3 hours over. And so my stepmother's like, you're not going to, like, we're still going to be able to go, right? He says, well, as long as you don't tell anybody. But I'm like, seriously, they would have prevented you from coming over it being over by 2 or 3 hours? That's ridiculous.
Yeah, so, well, unfortunately, that's the way bureaucracy can be. Sometimes there ain't no common sense to it.
Well, and that's what the border guard told them. He said, like, some of the other guards may not have let them over, but we're pretty laid back as long as you've had both vaccinations, and the fact that you have proof that you don't have the virus because you've got your test, and even if it is 2 or 3 hours, it's serious, so that 2 or 3 hours isn't going to make a whole lot of difference.
Not usually. Not usually.
Yeah, so anyway, it's a couple of hours drive to where they are, so we're going out there tomorrow.
Well, that'll be good. You get to see him.
I haven't got to see him for 2 years because of all this stuff.
Yeah,
we still can't go south.
Well, yeah, unfortunately. My parents have been going, my mom's been gone 14 years now. So I was only 30 when my dad passed away, and it was really sudden. So, and by the time I was 41, I was an orphan and instant mom to a 2-year-old nephew. Yeah.
Look at Iris's comment there. Having, my stepfather's military, so I'm a military brat, and I like that comment about Daddy called Mom's a barracks bag. Those bags are pretty darn big. She quit carrying a purse and now carries a backpack. She's heading towards the barracks bag too, I guess.
Yeah. So let me see. I still have. How do I do this? Where we go? Nope. We'll get it yet. There we go.
There you go.
So I'll do my last 2, and then we're gonna call it a night. I know I usually go longer, but I just can't tonight. My back's just like not happy, and I have physical therapy in the morning. Oh joy! I get to go back and
therapy's working the muscles that probably don't want to be worked, which makes it
well. And it's the spine. I mean, we were really pushing to try to get the spine to. There's 2 vertebrae that instead of having that space, they're actually pinched together on one side, and that's where the pinched nerve is. But they're below the small of the back as you're heading into that tailbone part. And it's very hard to stretch that part. And so the muscles aren't used to being stretched at all on that lower part of your back. So it's very easy to pull the muscles while trying to stretch that bottom little part.
And that's scoliosis in that small of my back. And my vertebrae are actually compressing.
Yeah.
And they're almost to the point, according to my chiropractor, to the point where they could start fusing at any time, which is not pleasant.
No, it's not. Mm-mm. Yeah, it's not. So.
But it's like, I always say, it's like everything. This too shall pass, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Just have to survive it long enough to deal with it. Yeah. But I got to camp. That's all I got. That's my stress relief for the year, is a week in the woods. So, all right.
I want to thank you for letting me join you. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Right now, every little bit helps. I'll be going back to work soon, but I still have a lot of catching up to do.
And I understand that, and I'm still out of work.
Yeah.
I am still out of work.
Your company moved or something, didn't it?
Well, they're going to, and we drove. The physical therapy place picks me up, but sometimes we travel around to just pick up somebody else. And we went past the construction site for the new Wawa store.
Oh.
And so the gas tanks are now in the ground, and they were putting up the stonework for the sign on the corner, and they were starting to put the support beams up for the roof over the gas tanks. And usually it takes them about 10 weeks from the time they start, and they'll have that building up and ready to open. So that'll put it in October sometime. And right now, I can't stand up straight long enough to be back at work. So I don't know if I honestly at this point, I don't know if I'm going to have a job by the end of the year, because they're also not taking our management. They're just taking the staff to the new store. So we'll get all new management, and here I am on medical. I'm not sure how that's going to work. You know, I know they can't fire you while you're on medical, but if I go back with restrictions and have issues and it's a different manager, things might get a little dicey. So we'll see.
We have laws here that protect.
You have better laws than we have here. I know that much.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that they can't do, but sometimes I don't care what company it is. If they want to do something, they'll figure a way around it.
Yeah, but that all depends on the manager. That really depends on the manager that you have. Yeah. I've been in retail for way too long, and it always depends on that. And it's not like my health insurance is coming from them, because I'm not there enough hours to get health insurance from them.
Yeah.
So, all right, let me get the last two. And how do I do this again? There we go. So one of the other boxes, and I had promised that I would bring them, had some decoupage, the boxes from the unboxing. And I had several people say that I needed to bring these to the sale. So I brought them tonight. I have the picture frame that I had decoupaged. These, the scrap pieces, what they call scraps, are from Germany, the flower and the butterfly. And then it's got the crackle finish. And then there's a high gloss coat over it. And then it's it's actually a thin piece of glass in the center there. But it's never been used. I was so surprised when we opened up that one box and it was still stuff from when I used to do all the craft fairs. So you too can own a Nancy original. You can own a Nancy original butterfly picture frame for all of $12, number 77. $12, number 77, for a Nancy Krause original decoupage. I think some of the ones that asked about it, I haven't seen their name in the chat. I'm not sure they're here. I can sign it. Okay, the butterfly frame. And I see Sonia. And then I have another one that, now the only problem with this one is that the way it's made, there was never any piece of plastic or glass in the center. But he's fabric. Doesn't he look cool on there? I did not paint the frame. The frame came with the tiger stripes. But then I had this fabric that had this cool tiger. So I decoupaged the tiger on there. Now, I sold most of the other animals, but I still had the tiger. And his front paw actually wraps around the side. But he's another cool picture frame, never been used. The odd part about these, and I have one other one left because I had the tiger and I had the zebra left, is that they oddly did not come with any kind of piece of thin plastic or anything there. So this one's also $12 for the tiger picture frame, and it's number 53. $12, number 53 for the tiger picture frame. So that's the tiger. And if anybody's interested, I'll show the other one that has the zebras. And it has two. And they're decoupaged on there, but they are fabric. But look at, they fit in really well with the pattern. And I made sure that like he goes around the side too. They both do. Except his butt was so big it went around the back. So the zebra one would be number 74 for $12 if anybody's interested now or in the playback. So there we go. That's all our stuff for tonight. And did Cher freeze? Oh, I think Cher froze. Oh no. Sherry, you're frozen. But I want to thank you all. The nice part of her being, oh, she's gone. But it was over, so it's time to go anyway. My back is still bothering me, so. We did have some that didn't sell, and we were, I could show some of mine. It's getting hard to move though, because my back's starting to go. I have a little stitchery kit that's crewel work, and it has the little frame in there with it. Everything's in there. It's still been sealed, and that was oh wait, that's sold. Why am I doing this? Look, you can tell I'm kind of getting out of it. That's sold. I can't show that. I need the bowl. I have this neat cereal bowl, which is Blue Ridge Southern Potteries. Nice size cereal bowl. This was $5, number 59. Iris, yeah, you can. Email me and we can talk about it. What else didn't sell? The silver seashell bracelets. Now, they're not sterling or anything, but there's a pair of stretch bracelets that have little seashells that make a good mix. These were $4 and were number 47. So they hadn't sold. And I think you were here for all the rest of it. So, but, ow. So Iris, send me an email. And I hope you guys all had a good time. I did. I thought it was fun. But I definitely need to cut it short tonight. I know I'm usually here till like 2 a.m., sometimes longer. But this back needs an ice pack and a bed because it hurts. And I will get invoices out this weekend. And if I already still have stuff for you, I will add it to it. And I look forward to being paid for those invoices because that electric bill ain't getting paid by leaves on the tree. So good night, everybody. I hope you had fun. And if you liked Sherry at Sher Finds, then go find her channel, subscribe. She's new. She has fantastic stuff, but she doesn't have as many subscriptions as I do. She hasn't hit her first 100 yet. So let's get going and get her to 100. And I am working towards getting to 1,000 so we can have that slumber party, all night slumber party, ghost stories, you know, the whole works. So see you guys next Thursday. Bye. Wait, where is it? There it is.